Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new My Team Career Mode episode where we're going to be racing out Bahrain for round 5 of this career. So, without further ado, as always, let's jump right into it. As you can see, our development expansion for the aero department is finally complete. We're going to be able to do just no stress, finally getting the dual development ready for the aero. I think we only have dual development for the powertrain left and the durability department left. So we are halfway through getting the dual development. Very good news. Nothing to complain about. As you can see, we're also going to get to spend our R&D points from last race weekend. Japan, of course, is a one race weekend, no sprint race in Japan. So there are 3 practice sessions to be completed. So even the more resource points, so even better. As you can see, we had 1,700 resource points to spend. That doesn't mean we're going to be able to research 2 parts. So that also just means 2 more parts on the car. As you can see, turns out there are actually four development slots. So that means there's going to be 2 parts dual development, or of course 1 part, like 4 parts, 1 singular development. But I think just dual development's better. Just being able to get, because then you don't need to stress, which driver has this upgrade, which driver has which. So no need to stress. As we're now gonna sim up until
Hey,
the
boss.
race
Really pleased to
weekend.
say that early talks have progressed well.
As you can see, having talks with Oliver Good, we actually still have a lot of money. Um, I mean, as I was saying from the very start, we probably
Chief,
could have
I must
spent more
remind you that we
money.
have parts fully
I
researched with a
don't know
waiting
why I
for
didn't spend as
development.
much money
Let's get that performance on the
as
car.
I did. This is actually one of my first My Team career modes. I don't really do My Team. I usually do driver. I thought maybe it might be another section where I need to spend money. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll save some money. Turns out I probably could have splurged on some better drivers. Because I mean, I could have splurged on some better drivers and still have had enough money for facility upgrades. But that's an issue for another time. As we're now getting some other upgrades ready to research. I've been again. I think I had 600. As you can see, 630 resource points. As you can see, it has just enough for a chassis upgrade. As you can see, the R&D, not R&D, practice really does benefit R&D because we now have, it's like a sale, summer sale on the parts. They are cheaper thanks to practice. So very, very beneficial as we get another part ready for development and another ready for development in the chassis department where we still don't have dual development, sadly. Um, so yeah, nothing really to nothing to complain about. Uh, Going to assigning upgrades, of course. 2 parts have been developed: a chassis and an aero department part. So we're gonna give one of them to, as you can see, we're gonna give one of them to Browning, and we're gonna give the other one to Goethe. Um, I mean, yeah, no need to favoritize anyone. Just trying to make them as equal as I can. Also just the fact that the parts are of different departments. So, I mean, at the end, as you saw, Goethe had more parts, but I mean, maybe because the parts but might just be like, less beneficial. So you never know. As we head right into the race weekend, choosing Luke Brownlee here, and we're gonna be heading right into qualifying. As you saw, no need to choose practice since I do quick practice. Um, just to get some quick resource points since I've never really enjoyed practice. Um, so yeah, heading right into qualifying. Heading right into qualifying.
Okay, I hope you brought something good to read today. There's an issue with the fuel system. We don't think it's anything terminal, but it is going to take some time to investigate and repair, I'm afraid.
I mean, no surprise here. Yeah, I was like, you know what, might as well just put some parts on the car. As I forgot to put them on before. So this is gonna give us a great penalty. Probably gonna start from the back. We're not even gonna get a chance to go out in qualifying, but Bahrain is a very weak track for myself. And they are very good at it. So
There was
no
a
need to do
race against
qualifying as we head
time in
right into the
2004 to get
race.
Sakir ready for its Grand Prix debut. But today, the only race is where it matters. Right on track. Welcome to the Bahrain Grand Prix. We go racing today around the 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit, with 15 corners and 2 good passing opportunities into turns 1 and 4. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left tyre into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. So with the race not far away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Lando Norris will lead us away from pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Piastri, Hamilton, Andrea Kimi Antonelli, and Albon, Alonso, Gasly, Verstappen, and George Russell, Sainz, Colapinto, Ollie Behrman, and Hulkenberg, Ocon, Bortoletto, Isaac Hadjar, and Arvid Lindblad, Goethe, Lawson, Bottas, Perez, Stroll, and Luke Browning rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. And alongside me here today in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Now, you're the racing driver in this partnership, so tell us about this racing driver. Put us in their shoes. How are they going to be feeling?
Well, you've got to be prepared, Crofty. Before you even step foot inside the car, you've got to know, you've got to have a pre-race game plan. You've watched videos before you get into the car of previous races gone by. You know where you have to place your car if X, Y, or Z happens in front of you or behind you. So having this clear game plan is absolutely essential before you get in the car.
I know you're frustrated to be this far back on the grid, but you've got to keep that under control. Keep a cool head and work your way through the field gradually as you go. It's not all going to be won or lost at the first corner.
So, heading right into the race. As you can see, horrible tire wear at Bahrain. I mean, those tires are just gonna get cooked. So we're gonna go on the medium hard, since I know half the time the tire wear is like half as bad as predicted. So medium hard, we're gonna save the harder tire before the end of the race. Seeing how much it'll benefit us, not underfueling as much. For Australia, I think I'd rather underfuel my car less, just so I can finish the race, even if I finish it with a bit more fuel, even if it's 2 laps more, because, I mean, come on, not finishing the race like we did in Australia would just be really, really bad. So, heading out now onto the formation lap. Starting in last, after we didn't even get to do qualifying. Absolutely horrible start to the race weekend. Turns out it's actually going to get even more horrible. But anyways, we're going to be lining up here onto the grid box, starting the race. NP24 far away from the action, as we're right alongside the one and only GOAT. Lance Stroll has its 5 lights out, and away we go for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Right behind Sergio Perez, Lance Stroll right alongside us. We're going to keep to the inside line, trying to dive bomb the AI. As you can see, completely going down the inside of everybody, completely locking our rear tires. We are very lucky to escape that in one piece, as we're up into P18. Cars ahead of us. As you can see, everyone's going 3 wide. As we're going to take advantage of that, we're going to overtake 3 cars in one go. Oh, no, never mind. 4 cars in one go as we overtake Franco Colapinto, and we're up into P14. 10 cars in the span of 5 laps. No, never mind. Hadjar's overtaking us. We're going to go right back down the inside of Isaac Hadjar. I actually thought maybe I hadn't caused this incident. Turns out I did cause the incident, as Hadjar pushes the Alpine wide. The Alpine completely ticks out. He wipes Lindblad out. Lindblad for his 2nd consecutive DNF here. After Suzuka, very unlucky. It's a VSC. Hadjar's actually going to overtake us during the VSC. Not even inside the track. He's going to overtake us outside the track. I guess the FIA are completely blind to stewards deciding to not really do anything. As the safety car is out, to be honest, I wasn't really going to complain about Hadjar overtaking me, to be honest. So I apologize to the FIA, just because he was going to overtake me anyway. That Red Bull is absolutely rapid compared to us. As now on lap 3, no one's boxed too early. 2 box, especially since this is a very bad tire wear circuit. So we're going to get going on lap 3 here. Average, I would say average restart from us. Of course, not being able to use any boost mode before the start finish straight. As now Hajar's already flashing. I don't know what he's been doing. I guess he's gonna save lots of his energy. Sorry, as we're gonna go for an outrageous dive bomb again, locking up. We're actually gonna be able to make it stick. We're gonna go for it. It's gonna be a double maneuver. We're up into P13. Very, very lucky. As now going into turn 5, we've actually made them. Well, as you can see, I'm still trying to play around with my brake bias. Going down to 51% brake bias, trying to do as much as I can to save the car. Well, really save myself from having any embarrassing moments. Slight foreshadowing. Hardy should have actually played around with the differential a bit. As well as you can see, pretty much like driving the F14T this circuit. I think either a car setup issue or a skill issue. I guess we'll never know. But then you can see, as I enter the corner, I lock the fronts, and then as it's the end of the braking zone, I lock the rears. As the cars ahead of us are going 4 wide, and Fernando Alonso can get.
Overtake is active. Overtake mode active. You're going to get more power from the hybrid system. You know how it works. Just use boost on the next long straight to get your way past.
Of the Red Bull, as we're up into P13. Now on lap 6, we find ourselves in P14, and we're going to completely lose the rear. As I was saying, we've actually played around with the differentials. You can see down to 70. Not going to help us at all, as we fall down into P19. We're right behind our teammate. I'm actually saying my mic cut out for a bit during the fight, but pretty much all I was saying is that well, we're pretty good overtake on Fernando Alonso, as we find ourselves behind Hajar. So I do apologize for that, ladies and gentlemen. As now, lap 6 down to P19, we've got from being 0 to being sight of a hero to going all the way back down to being pretty much 0, as we get overtaken by our teammate on lap 6, as we go wide, lose the rear once again, not being able to find any balance in this car whatsoever. I really don't know what was going on. So, sadly, we fall down into P22. It's not P23 because Alonso's boxed for a new wing, of course. As he's go onto the soft compound tires. Interesting choice from the strategist, that's Aston Martin. As now, on lap 8, we're going to see George Russell and Leclerc having a pretty nice battle. George Russell is going to go down the inside of Charles Leclerc into turn 1. Leclerc's going to fight it. He's going to try and go around the outside. Outside becomes inside as he's able to overtake George Russell. Will he be able to fight back? No, he will not. So Leclerc retains those 12 points here as he's up into 4th on lap 8. Now lap 7. I think I was going to box on lap 8 actually. So, you know, 2 8-lap stints on the mediums and a 13-lap stint on the hards I think was very possible. As I'm not going to choose to fight my teammates. Okay, yeah, as you can see, just again losing the rear for pretty much no reason. Big skill issue. Deciding not really to fight my teammate, no point. He had more pace than me. Didn't really want to slow him down to the cars ahead. Even if we didn't score any points, I think the man who could get a better result than myself was probably going to be my teammate. In all fairness. So we're going to lose the rear slightly on lap 8. I'm gonna go wide again. It was just disappointing, honestly. As you can see, rear right, rear left is on 52%. I couldn't find any pace in the car, in the wheels. Just see again. At this point, I was playing around. You can't see in every clip, but I was playing around with the differential, with the front brake bias before pretty much every corner during the race, trying to find any little bit of balance I can. Turns out I didn't find any of it, as I completely lose the car, not once but twice, into the last corner. It's going to cost us a heap amount of time. I don't know if that's how you say it, but it's going to lose us a lot of time here on the lap that we were supposed to make a pit stop. We were in last place. I think losing those 5-7 seconds on that spin is probably going to push us even further down the order as we're going in for our first pit stop of the race.
Okay, right, go, go, go. Perfect job from you and the crew there, mate. We're delighted with
Pretty
that.
good pit
Okay,
stop
stay clear of the white line
from the
on
pit
exit.
crew.
We'll receive a penalty for dangerous
Um,
driving if you
I
cross onto the
mean,
track.
yeah, nothing really to complain about. We're down into P23. We're more than 9 seconds behind the cars ahead. As you can see, our teammate's gonna make a pit stop, and he's gonna go back out onto the medium. As you can
No
see,
need to worry about the
we
tyre
undercut
conditions
him by
now.
like 3
Everything's
laps, and
sorted.
he's still gonna be 4 seconds ahead of us. So I mean, horrible race. At this point, I was probably sensing that these next 19 laps are gonna be so boring. We're gonna be completely by ourselves. It's not gonna be a good YouTube video. By the seams of it, not much action. However, that's I think that's kind of foreshadowing. Let's say, as now on lap 13, we are actually ahead of someone. We're ahead of Fernando Alonso. We're 10 seconds behind our team, as you can see, because we actually made up even more mistakes off screen. As on screen, we're actually gonna make yet another mistake here going into sector 3. Completely slip on a banana peel, or get hit by a red shell by Fernando Alonso, and I mean, we're back down into last. So we're gonna be even further back, more back behind our teammate. As you can see, our teammate is so far ahead. I mean, we're not even in the final corner, and he's already at turn 3. So, I mean, horrible scenes here. Had secure for ourselves, not for anyone else, for ourselves. Yes. As now on lap 14, we're more than 13 seconds behind Fernando Alonso. We're gonna lose the car yet again going into turn 10, as you can see. Not getting the balance I wanted or needed. Actually, it's not even a want; it's a need at this point because I just keep losing the car. On lap 15 here, we're gonna lose the car. I mean, yeah. Again, going into the gravel trap. Nothing to comment. The torture doesn't end there, because as we're going into here, we're gonna lose the rear.
The car ahead
But
come into
it
fifth
doesn't even
mediums.
end there,
Car
because
ahead
going
now
into this
running
corner, no words. I think at this point, I was just contemplating my life choices. I mean, I don't
Tyres are
even know what I
degrading
was doing.
fast. We can change strategy if you
Trying
want.
to maybe
Check your
keep onto
MFG
the
for
track,
details.
hoping for a safety car. It's not gonna play out well for us. So now
Confirmed.
here we're pretty much halfway through the race, and yet the cars ahead, even Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin, is more than a pit stop clear of us. As we're now in danger of being lapped on lap 16.
Okay, so gap to the car ahead, 30.06.
Turns out I pretty much jinxed it, because we're gonna make another mistake and we're gonna get lapped by Lando Norris, the reigning world champion, who is in the lead here at Bahrain. He's gonna lap us. Hopefully he's not gonna lap us a second time, because as things are going, he probably is on course to lap us a second time, as I'm making more and more mistakes. Now, however, on lap 16, Max Verstappen is going to be going for a move on Kimi Antonelli, the man fighting for the World Championship with George Russell. And actually, Oscar Piastri is in the fight as well. Oscar Piastri having a pretty good race in terms of the championship, as the championship leader is in the dumps. He's in P5, as Max Verstappen is going to go for a move on Kimi Antonelli. He's going to make it stick going into turn 4, as George Russell is going to lose a position to Lewis Hamilton. He's going to try and fight it. He really doesn't need a 6th place. As you can see, he's up at the 5th. Keeps the position. But Lando Norris is going to make a mistake. He's going to spin. He's actually going to fully spin. He's going to impede all of the cars behind him. As we get past, we're going to unlap ourselves. But Oscar Piastri and Kimi Antonelli are going to get stuck behind him. Actually, Oscar Piastri is going to be the one who's going to come the worst off of it, as Lando Norris finally ghosts. As you can see here on screen, our tires are pretty much dead. I was thinking of this was the lap we were supposed to actually make a pit stop. So very lucky for us, as the safety car, safety car is deployed here. Very lucky for us. As I mean, this is perfect for us. Right on the lap we were supposed to make a pit stop. 13 laps left, so pretty much almost half a race distance left. No, that's a lie, but still quite a lot of laps left. And the hards should be able to make it to the end. So pretty much no more pit stops for us. Very helpful. As even with the front left issue, we're still gonna make it out of P23. As you see, the
Right,
cars
drop
ahead
your
of us
speed.
are.
Our delta's
I
too
mean,
low,
look
and
at
we're
how
going to
far
risk a
ahead the
penalty.
cars are.
Slow your pace
I mean,
immediately.
look, more than a minute ahead. So we're gonna have the massive job of. I mean, this is the second safety
Okay.
car of the race, second safety car of actually the career. So very chaotic. But now we're gonna have the job of hopefully being able to catch back up to the cars ahead in time of the safety car going in, as we're gonna be just able to catch them in time. Safety cars in this lap is gonna be a 9-lap sprint to the end here with Sergio Perez being in front of us. As you can now see, actually, how the Cadillac kind of has a dual livery. You know, one side's like pretty much like the mirror opposite of the other. Um, anyways,
Okay, clear.
we're gonna be very aggressive on the restart. 9 laps on the hards is more than doable. It's actually pretty much perfect. Even though I pretty much spend those 3 laps catching the safety car as racing laps, trying to push as much as I can. But anyways, we're now going to go for a move on Sergio Perez, very aggressive as I was saying, trying to pretty much salvage. I was very
Tyre
weary
condition still
of
looking
getting
good.
any points. You can see I'm very happy. We're finally racing some cars. I knew I probably wouldn't be scoring any points, but I did want to salvage as much as I can, as this race has now been flipped in the balance. It's gone from being very boring to being a very chaotic race for pretty much everybody. As we're going to go for down the inside, very aggressive move on to our teammate. We're up into P21. As you can see, everyone ahead is on soft tires. This is what I was talking about when I said chaotic race, because they're going to need to make another pit stop. Those soft tires are probably their qualifying softs. So the cars ahead, we will need to make a pit stop. Neither will our teammate, as we both went for choosing to go on using our softer tires first and keeping the hard tires towards the end. That's going to massively benefit us, because as I was saying, chaotic race has
Okay,
been
good
pretty
work.
much been
Great
flipped
pass.
onto its head, as the cars ahead need to make a pit stop, and yet we don't. So we're gonna see where we're gonna end up by the end of the race, as it's lap 21. We are in P20. I mean, yeah. As you see, kind of a snap on the final corner.
Overtake enabled.
I was gonna say Lando Norris again, but Fernando Alonso lining up a move. But anyways, here on lap 22, more action at the front. This is really where the action is. As you can see, Pierre Gasly is gonna be sandwiched in a Leclerc and Russell sandwich. He is going to be able to go down the inside of both of them. Incredible move by the one-time race winner. He's going to keep his 5th position. George Russell in the dumps here. The championship leader having a horrible race, because Antonetti, his championship contender, is in 1st, and yet he's all the way down in 6th. Actually, never in 6th. He's going to fall back down to 7th as Leclerc makes an incredible move around the outside. And George Russell, by the looks of it, is only going to be getting 6 points if things stay this way. As you can see, I've fixed my balance, still slightly locking up as you can hear, but I mean, I've put my differential down all the way to 60. Probably should have done it from the start. I mean, I guess it's not a 100% differential meta like it was on F125. Yeah, all the setups I made do have a 100% differential. So, well, yeah, I mean, I kept the meta from last year's game. I mean, this is last year's game, but you know what I'm saying. Last year, Regs' game, as you can see, also Piastri into the pits. I mean, as I was saying, the race has been completely flipped onto his head. As you can see, everyone's in the pits. Look, he's going to be overtaken. Look, I mean, look at this. Gasly, even Hamilton, all into the pits, because they started on the softer compound, going on a harder compound. So, people who went for the alternate race strategy really benefiting. So, they're really going to need to push here, as Oscar Piastri's, I mean, he's not going to benefit from his teammate's mistake. Lando Norris will benefit, not really going to benefit because he was in 1st, but he's not going to be affected by it as much because he doesn't have that harder tire compound. Piastri won't. So much like 2025, Oscar Piastri is going to have the short end of the stick as we let our teammate by. This is for P11 and P12. I decided to let my teammate by. I knew he had more pace, so if anyone could get some points, maybe do something and salvage this race, it was him. I knew, as you can see, Oscar Piastri 8.5 seconds behind us. I knew if anyone could defend, it would be us, because the AI aren't very good at defending the faster cars. So, doing anything I can, trying to follow my teammate, trying to keep away from Oscar Piastri, has we're now up into 8th and 9th. I don't think you guys understand how ecstatic I was. I mean, up until this career mode, I was the only one scoring points, but for the first time, our AI teammate is always also going to have the choice not the choice, but the chance of scoring some points, as Lando Norris and George Russell having some contact again, fighting for P4. George Russell somehow, much like real life, is gonna, somehow go from being 7th to being in 4th. Very, very lucky for him. This would have been a great race for Kimi Antonelli if Russell had finished in 6th. He would have gotten. He would have caught up a lot more points. Sadly, it's not going to go his way. However, he's still leading in 1st, as the youngster is showing a lot of pace in P1. He's more than 5.5 seconds ahead of Verstappen, as George Russell and Lando Norris continue going side by side. Both drivers racing in F2. The rivalry continues in Formula 1, as Lando Norris is going to make it up to 4th place, and George Russell is going to stay in 5th. And by lap 26, now pretty much, let's say 3 laps left as we cross the line, Oscar Piastri has caught up to us. I think those are probably his softs from qualifying, but still a very, very quick car, the McLaren is. So if he overtakes us now, he's going to catch up to our teammate. We are way too close to him. I knew this. So we're going to go for an outrageous dive bomb down the inside of Oscar Piastri. We're going to do anything we can to defend the position, trying to slow him down so that our teammate can get those very precious 4 points. 8th place for the McLaren is a disappointment. For us, it's an absolutely incredible result, and I knew it. So we're going to defend. Again, we're going to continue defending on Oscar Piastri here into turn 4. We're going to kind of push him wide as we get some underbody damage.
Okay, the underbody's
He's going to go around the outside. We're still side by side. Really trying to get our elbows out here. As Hulkenberg is also into P7. So very good finish for the Audis. As Oscar Piastri is going to go for a very aggressive move into turn 10, having none of our defense. We're going to try and go around the outside of him. We'll have plenty of battery here against the Australians, so we're really going to push the limits here. We're going to go for yet another almighty dive down the inside. However, he's going to go for a switchback on us, so we're going to fall back down into 10th position. As you can see, our tires are also starting to wear. The rear right is on 41%, and the underbody damage isn't helping either. As our teammate is now, I think that's 3.6 seconds ahead. So, 2 laps left. He should be able to keep 8th position. As we go wide, I really did not care at this point, even if I got a penalty. Just trying to do anything I can. Sunny Hayes style. As you know. Not really caring, giving a care in the world whether or not we're gonna get a penalty or not. As we're gonna overtake Oscar Piastri. He probably ended up not having any more battery, so we're now gonna be racing Lewis Hamilton, actually, who also had to do a second pit stop after the safety car. Their strategies were completely botched from the safety car, so very unlucky for them, since they were having a pretty good race. Oscar Piastri was actually in 2nd. As unlike the previous lap, we're gonna have pretty much no battery to fight, so Lewis Hamilton is going to overtake us. However, our teammate is 4 seconds up the road, so Hamilton is not going to be able to make up that race distance in a lap. At this point, I knew I was probably gonna lose. As you can see, I had pretty much no battery. I knew I was going to not get any points, so we're going to let Oscar Piastri and Alex Albon by. Just as I was saying, no need to fight. No need to do anything. Just trying to bring the car home in one piece since I already had underbody damage. I'm ecstatic at this point. Maybe I'm not as ecstatic now because this is a voiceover, but I was still very happy as I was making the race, because we went from having an incredibly boring race to securing our teammate a mighty 4 points, getting right deep into the action with some very quick cars of the likes of Piastri and Hamilton. So a very good race from us, pretty much defending like what Fernando Alonso did for Esteban Ocon had Hungary. However, this isn't for the race win, but still 4 points for us is a lot of points, especially since we're a backmarker team. So very good as we pick up a 3-second time penalty. But I'm in P13, so no need to worry. Has Oscar Piastri, he's gonna end up scoring no points because he's gonna be overtaken by Alex Albon. Now, on the last lap, Leclerc's going to maybe try and go for a maneuver on Verstappen. He's not going to be close enough, sadly. So, Antonelli's going to win the race, and Verstappen and Leclerc are going to come home in 2nd and 3rd. As you can see, maybe the update that the EA did for the Williams is actually maybe coming into play, because as you know, for the previous parts, the Williams were absolutely rapid. I mean, they were what, like fighting for poles, and like fighting for podiums. Now they're actually only going to finish with 1 point, sadly. And Oscar Piastri have a horrible race. He's gonna end up getting 0 points. Having to get 18 points, he's actually gonna be getting 0. So very unlucky for him. Lucky for us though, because we're gonna catch 3 points to the Williams team, which might not seem like a lot, but I mean, between two teams which may only get like 50 points in a season, it's actually going to be very good. So incredible race from us. We're going to come home in P16 after the penalty, but I'm still incredibly happy with that result. We're going to get 4 points and a P8 finish. I mean, very, very good race as our teammate gets driver of the day. I mean, absolutely beautiful race. Very chaotic, very nice. It's what you'd love to see in career mode.
Absolutely magnificent. Victory today for Andrea Kimi Antonelli.
They had to be decisive with their overtaking today as they worked their way through the field. And those kind of race victories are so enjoyable because it's not just like winning from the front. They really had to work for it today.
From lights out to the checkered flag, each and every driver has this moment in the back of their mind. Now it's time for their celebrations. Our podium, it awaits.
As you can see, Kimi Antonelli is going to close the gap to George Russell, maybe less than what could have been, but he's still going to catch up. So it's pretty much anyone's championship as Max Verstappen is going to overtake Piastri after his very disappointing race. So yeah, it's pretty much a 4-way fight in the Drivers' Championship. We are going to catch up to Williams in the Constructors' Championship. A very good result from us, as I was saying. Very good race. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.